Hey guys, how's it going? It's X666X Iron Maiden. Today I have a very special interview to do. Not with a band, anything like that, but today we have Ann, who you guys might have seen in the comments on every Nightwish Reactors channel ever, pretty much. So Ann's here with me now. How's it going, Ann?
Hi. How are you, Ernie?
Oh, I'm doing great today. It's a good day.
Good.
We have Ann today, so that's a good day.
Oh, thanks.
So she was someone brought up that she should do an interview. It wasn't on my channel where it was brought up, but I happened to catch it because I, as well as everyone knows, is on everyone's reaction channel, checking them out. And I don't believe in just doing reaction channels and then not supporting the other reactors. That's just the way I am. That's what got me into it, was checking out everybody else. That's what that's my roots right there for starting my channel, was watching everyone else. So I still do that. And I saw this, that someone brought up that you should, talk about how you eventually got up to being so into Nightwish to the point of recently, not that long ago, seeing them alive, right? And it was, it was last year, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, just this past year, but March. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was way back, and it feels like it wasn't so long ago, but I guess that's time flies. But yeah, basically just telling your story, how you got to that, and you happened to hit me up for it after, because I had commented on it too, that I thought you should do it, and I'm glad that you came to me, because I was really willing to do that. I thought it was a good idea. It's not something that you see a lot on any channels, is people talking to the actual people that are checking out the reaction, and I thought that was a cool idea, especially when it's someone that stands out in the community. Everyone seems to know you just from all the comments, as we were saying earlier when we were chatting before this. So basically, we'll just start out from the beginning, maybe a little bit about you that people don't know without, as I said, going too into details with being uncomfortable about it or anything.
Well, I picked you because you were you were like one of a couple of my very first reaction channels that I went to. And so I've known you for a while, so to speak, known you.
Yeah, over a year.
Yeah, yep. So anyway, I am a mother of 4, grandmother of 7.
Woo!
Yeah. My oldest grandchild is 18, and she's going off to college. But anyway.
Oh, already.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Married. I have a wonderful husband, and he takes good care of me. And this is what I do. I'm disabled. I'm on oxygen 24/7, so I don't get to go places much. So this is my
escape, basically.
My entertainment, I guess.
It's your escape from the house, basically. Try to keep up with people. I can understand that. I've had family like that can't get around too much. That just any interaction is good, right? When you can't get out.
Right. And it's so nice, and everybody is so nice, and so that's I went to college. I worked in a restaurant for 15 years. My family had a restaurant, X66X. For 25 years. So you know about that.
I definitely know about that.
Yes, and I worked in that for 15 years with my dad. And then I went on to social work, which is what my major was in college. So that's what I did up until I went on disability.
Some important work too, social work. That's
yeah, it is.
It's not easy, is it?
No. I had people showing up at my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, not easy, but
people think it's just helping people. Sometimes it can be a pretty dark side too. From what I've heard from a friend of mine that does it, he works with just troubled youth, so it can be quite a thing.
Yeah, it does, and it comes home with you. I don't care who you are. It just does. So, but there were some good things that came out of it. And, I had a a meth mom. I called her my meth mom, and she got cleaned, and she, went to college. I got her into college, and she went and did that, and there are good things, that come out of it, but anyway, but there's the bad things too, and where you have to remove kids from their families, but
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Well,
Anyway,
there's only so much you can do.
that's right.
You have to remind yourself, I imagine, that you can't help them all, unfortunately.
That's right.
It's just those that want to be helped that can really be helped,
Yeah, my husband says, you're not going to bring any of them home, Ann.
No. Well, you didn't in all that time, so that's
No. So anyway, so about, let's see, I grew up, my junior high school, when I was in like 7th, 8th, 9th grade, that was the late 60s. I was in 7th grade in 67.
That was when rock music was really hitting too, right?
Huh?
That was when rock music was really starting to kick off a lot too. Like in the direction that we went now, the heavier, starting to get a little bit heavier than Elvis and all those that were before.
Mm-hmm. I didn't have access other than radio, really. I was the oldest of 7. It wasn't like we had a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had what we needed. Don't get me wrong, but. My first record was 45, and it was the Turtles.
The Turtles. I know who the Turtles are.
And so that was my first one. And then in high school, my best friend got me Sly and the Family Stone.
Oh, that's another good
album.
one, too.
Yeah, it is a good one. And that was my very first album. And then, I listened to all the bands that were... because my friends, we were into Carole King, into, Carly Simon, Led Zeppelin, all of them.
All the ones that would be considered classic, like legendary status today. Well, most of those anyway.
Yeah, right.
Of course, Carole King and Led Zeppelin.
Huh?
Of course, Carole King and Led Zeppelin would definitely be basically a legend status at this point.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you consider them.
Yeah, Carole King, she's really amazing. She really is. But, so and Neil Diamond, and my dad was into him. And
yeah, old Neil Diamond.
Yeah.
I had a couple of his records when I had my collection, actually. So that's,
I
get
mean, it. And then ABBA, I knew about ABBA.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was later. But, when I went into college, because I graduated high school 72, so I went into college that fall 72. And, there's like Jethro Tull and Moody Blues and trying to think of the other ones. I mean, there's so many.
You're just naming all bands that I had on record when I had my collection so far. The Moody Blues, and I had the Moody Blues, and I had a bunch of Jethro Tull too.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. We don't do a lot of those bands on the channel, but those are all bands that I've listened probably more to than most of the bands we've covered on the channel. Like that's where I got a lot of my... Where I started anyway was those 70s bands. A lot of them are just some of my favorite bands still today, but we just don't do them a lot on the channel because... It's not the most popular. Like, as soon as someone knows you do metal reactions, they don't usually ask for classic rock a lot, I've noticed. It just seems to be a thing. I don't know.
That's too bad. That's too bad because people are missing out on a lot of good music.
Yeah. We've done a few. We've done a few, like here and there.
Well, I
know. But we don't really get them a lot,
No.
I think the last one was like Grand Funk Railroad was the last one I did, and it was like I barely listened to them in my life, so that was like something special for me. I was like, oh, that's actually really, really good. I don't know why I skipped over them.
Well, like I used to listen to Cream.
Yeah, Cream's good.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of different bands.
So many. It's hard to remember them all at this point.
Yeah, it really
There's so many bands. That's how I feel all the time.
And I was a big Rod Stewart fan, and I saw him in concert about 4 or 5 times.
That'd be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, he puts on a great concert, and you either love him or hate him. That's
he still does now. He still does now at his age. I've seen a few clips from now. He's Still
And
got that
Barbara
voice.
Streisand. I was a big Barbara Streisand fan. I kind of guess I was eclectic, really.
Yeah, just
A lot of
listen to
different.
everything.
Yeah, really. Uh, um, but my very first concert was my senior, well, the summer after my senior year, and it was Alice Cooper, Uriah Heep, and Blue Oyster Cult.
Oh man.
That was my first
Yeah.
concert.
I've seen Alice Cooper, but not at that time when I was like early years of Alice Cooper, right? He just basically started showing up. Like, I can't remember if did he start in the late 60s? Can you? I don't know if you'd be able to
He
remember.
must have,
But,
because he played in our stadium in Pittsburgh, our football baseball stadium, and it was pretty big, and that's where I saw those groups.
I suppose I have a computer in front of me, so that's one way. Years active, 1962 to present.
Oh, was it really 62?
Yeah, he only changed his name to Alice Cooper in '68. So he was in a bunch of other stuff, I guess, before that. He was with the Spiders and Nas before that, apparently.
Yeah.
Which I've never heard of either of them, but
I saw a video of his the other day. That song wasn't bad at all. I can't remember what the name was, but.
So I actually just learned something. I thought he started in the early, like, start of '70s. I didn't even realize. So that's something. I just learned something. And Blue Oyster Cult is another one I know well, but Uriah Heep I've only heard a little bit of. That's probably my bad.
Well,
for sure.
I mean, I didn't even know. I mean, I knew Alice Cooper because then his big hit was School's Out for the Summer.
Yeah, everyone was excited for that one. I bet.
But I didn't know Uriah Heep or Blue Oyster Cult until I went. I didn't know them.
Bet you liked them after, though.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I bet you did. I bet you went and found some music at some point. Maybe not right after, but eventually. Wasn't as easily accessible back then, I imagined. You actually had to go buy it, right?
I mean, you had radio, pretty much it, and FM radio was hard to get way back when.
Yeah.
But because it was our local station was AM, so you just got all the the pop hits, and stuff like that. But anyway, so it was really college that I really got into more different stuff. But trying to think what other. Billy Joel, I saw in concert before he was really big.
Oh, nice. Billy Joel.
He played at Kutztown University, and I was like 7 months pregnant walking on bleachers.
Oh, jeez.
In a college gym.
Oh, man.
But he was awesome. Oh, my God, was he awesome. Because he was young and he had all that energy, and oh my God!
Yeah,
you see him on that piano.
I've seen some clips from like his early years, and he was all over the place. Like, he used to be all over the stage and stuff. Whenever he wasn't on the piano, even on the piano though, he would move around a lot.
Yeah. So. No, I loved, and his early stuff. I really loved his early stuff.
I still have his greatest hits on my cell phone that I listen to pretty frequently, so I understand.
Yeah, no. So I saw him, fairly early in his, and also, well, first of all, I went to college down near Philadelphia, so that should explain why I was closer to stuff that venues and things that did, concerts, things like that.
Yeah.
But I saw him and. Trying to think. Well, Rod, Neil Diamond. I saw Jefferson Starship.
Nice.
I saw the Doobie Brothers.
Another good one.
And they're good. I saw Three Dog Night.
Oh, nice.
But this was way after they were,
Yeah.
I saw some different groups. Really, come to think of it, but
yeah.
Anyway.
And again, they're all basically, they're classics nowadays. Like, people know who they are. They still know who they are, even if they don't really listen to it. You hear the name, like, most kids nowadays don't listen to Rod Stewart, but they know who. There's still a bunch that know who he is if you say his name, just from the pop culture references. So it's all at the time you had no way of knowing that these guys were all going to be such still being talked about nowadays too. Like it's and I'm sure that's going to be the same with a bunch of bands from
Right.
my generation. It's going to be a whole thing too. But it's cool. It's always cool. I always enjoy talking to I'm going to say people your age. Sorry.
That's okay.
But
I have no problem with my age, believe me.
but because it's always cool to hear like, oh, you got to see that band. That's so cool, because it's I'm hoping to be able to do that with the kids when I get older too.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh, really? Like at work.
It is cool. And and I saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan, come on.
Yeah. Jeez.
On the Ed Sullivan show.
Yeah. And like a few
That was
people
huge.
People I worked with at my last job there, one of them had seen like Pink Floyd 3 times. I was like, are you serious?
Oh my God.
Like I was
that
like,
would be awesome.
you saw Pink Floyd 3 times. I can't even see them once. You saw them 3 times. I was like, really? I was like, come
I know,
on.
that would be so awesome.
Mind you, I do believe that would have been like the late 80s, I think is when they said. So like that would have been after. I think one time was during the Animals tour. I was like, really? Like, it's one of my favorite albums I got to see. I was like, really? But yeah, but it's like I said, the classic rock is one of my favorites, along with Mo, obviously. So all those bands are just as important as like Iron Maiden and Devin Townsend for me. Like they that's what people don't always see on the channel, is like, because I'm always reacting to the like 80s onward for metal. They forget, they don't really see how much I actually really, really enjoy that 70s section. And late 60s like is really like one of my go-tos when I don't want to listen to something heavy, or as heavy, I should say. It's still heavy, of course.
It's still heavy, but and that was the turning point, really.
Mm-hmm.
It really was. The late 60s, even more so than the beginning. But just unbelievable.
I guess that's true. That's true too, though. Is like a lot of people say the turning point for when like it started to become really heavy was like Cream and stuff like that. But I imagine for you, even the early '60s like was still a big turning point from what it was before. Like like before that, we had like Buddy Holly and stuff like that. But like jumping up to like after that, coming into the Beatles and like stuff like that, it is heavier than what it was. Like they had the Beatles have a song called that has heavy in the name, and it is heavy for that era. Like it's
I mean, Rolling Stones and all that was in the late 60s.
Yeah. So you could almost say that even before Cream it was starting to go towards heavy metal, but I understand mentioning Cream would probably be a good starting point, because it really turned into like distortion, like Jimi Hendrix era and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you got to see that. Like an actual like point in your life where you can actually remember it too. Like it's not, you weren't just like 5. You know what I mean? So it's really cool to know that. That's cool.
And they made a movie out of Woodstock. I mean, clips from Woodstock. It was wow, and that was my time. And also a thing that people don't think about, the men in my age group, that was the last of being drafted, and Vietnam was still a thing.
Yeah, that's true.
And so my class was the last ones that had the 72 that were in the lottery. And what was your lottery number? To be drafted.
You're hoping it wasn't gonna be your number.
Or somebody I knew. I didn't, and but then after that, they got out in 73, and then they dropped the draft, which was nice. But so went through that. I don't know if you saw the movie Coming Home.
I've watched so many movies.
Jane Fonda and John Voight, I think it was.
I'm looking it up right now.
It was about Vietnam, and she was a wife back in the States. But anyway, they played so much music for that time. It's just, if you don't watch it for anything, just watch it for the music.
I've seen that like the picture for the front of it was Jane Fonda, John Voight was in it.
Right.
Yeah. I think I've seen it, but I was younger when I seen it. Like I watched a lot of like wartime movies and action movies and stuff when I was
Right.
still like not even in high school. So like a lot of them now, it's like, oh, it looks familiar, but I can't remember if I actually did.
Right, but but going back to the music in that movie, it's just amazing. I mean, it will just if you watch it, the movie was good from my perspective because of the time. But the music, if you want to hear the types of music for that era, it's through the whole movie. It's amazing.
That's cool.
So just a FYI, if you want to hear some good music from back then, that's a good one.
I actually just found the soundtrack to that movie.
Did you?
Hey Jude,
oh, cool.
Strawberry Fields Forever, Call on Me. Once I Was. It's all like Expecting to Fly, Neil Young right there. But it was done by Buffalo Springfield instead. But yeah, there's a lot of big hits in there. Just Like a Woman, Bob Dylan's on there. I see what you mean. There's a lot of good Jimi Hendrix, Maniac Depression, like White Rabbit, Jefferson Airplane. This is all like classics right here, like everything.
Yeah. So it's an awesome. I'm gonna look that up too now.
It's on IMDb under the soundtrack section for the movie. I figured I could find it there. Oh, that's crazy. That's so many.
Yeah. It's awesome. But anyway, so then we were in the bar restaurant business and we had a DJ, and so the 80s, all that music, I went through. And I kind of liked some of the 80s music, to tell you the truth. I did. So I listened to that, and it really wasn't until about a few years ago, when I was at my worst, physically and depression and stuff, because when you have chronic illness,
it plays hand in hand. I mean, it's something that's when you can't move and you're in pain all the time, it's a thing. It's a thing that happens, and it's not. It just happens,
it does. And so I was just on YouTube, and I saw the Phantom of the Opera, which I would know because I was into musicals. Because I was in when I first went to college, I was a theater major.
Okay, nice.
But anyway, so I saw that, so I clicked on. I went, wow, that's really good. So I kept clicking more and more.
No surprise there.
Yeah, really. And the thing is all I saw was Tarja. That's it.
Yeah.
When I first got into Nightwish, that was strictly all I saw. I didn't know there was anything else. I just saw that, and I kept going, and I watched interviews, and I watched everything about them. That music just got to me. It just it got me in the heart and the soul, and it just, whether you were having a good day or a bad day, it was good.
What's crazy about saying that too, that it's making me think of, is you've had your whole life of listening to music, and still way further into your life you found a band that you're more passionate about than any other, I'm assuming, any other band you listened to before that.
Exactly.
So for all we know, there's still going to be another band that's going to come way in the future. It just shows that sometimes you don't find them right away. It takes forever, to have that band to mean something too, which is really cool to know, actually, that happened. It's interesting to see how that works out.
Don't give up looking. Don't give up. Have an open mind when you're going through music, because it's amazing.
Yeah.
I've gotten onto some different ones. Even not like Nightwish, but I've discovered other bands through my thing with Nightwish, and it opened my mind up to metal music. I'm even getting a little used to some harsh vocals, even. But,
it takes time. It wasn't that easy for me either. It might seem like it now, like it's always been that way, but it took me years to really enjoy. And there's still some of them I don't. So I get it. Like Cannibal Corpse, for instance, just one example that, sorry for some of you that are gonna hate this. I hate the vocals in Cannibal Corpse. Like once it gets to growling to the point where you have to have lyrics to understand what he's saying,
Yeah.
it ruins it for me, because I don't want to have lyrics in front of me. I want to know what's going on. I want to be able to. I feel like I'm losing part of something because I have to look it up to know what's going on. It's like trying to. It's not like, it's not the same as listening to Japanese, where like you can't physically understand what he's saying anyway. Like it's like, okay,
Yeah.
some people can, some people get it, but I just don't know how they do it.
I don't either. So I can't go. And I can't go a straight harsh vocals.
Mhm.
I need some clean in there to mix it up.
I get it.
Still, But anyway, so oh my God, I just fell in love with his music. It was just. See, it's gonna make me cry again.
See, though, I like how you said his music, because that shows that you're a Nightwish fan, because you know who wrote all the music. Some people would say their music. You said his music, and without even batting an eye. So I knew that right away. So was Nightwish, like, basically, it was the band that got you to listen to more metal, like, per se? Like, really get into more metal to a certain degree?
Well, yeah, it did, because, it did in the sense that when I went into the reaction channels
Okay.
and started, because I didn't just, and you know this, I didn't just watch the Nightwish ones.
Oh no, you watch more than that. You don't watch everything, because obviously there's a lot. There's you almost don't have time to watch all of them. I can't watch all the reaction videos.
Right, and I have the time, and I'm lucky in that sense.
Yeah.
And even doing this talking right now, I don't feel the pain. And you know what I'm saying? It takes me away from it.
Yeah.
And that's what's so cool. And his music, no matter what song, there isn't a song that I can't listen to.
No, that's
or don't
great.
want to listen to.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's songs that, there's some I like better than others, but I'm just saying you could go in to me and listen to any of his, and you're going to like it enough to listen to it and not turn it off, to me. And that's what I'm finding when I'm going through and talking to people.
Well,
they have the same feeling.
No, they do. They do. That's you find YouTube's a beautiful place for that. As much as YouTube gets a lot of hate from the creators lately because they really don't like to help us. Especially reactors, and I get it, because there is the whole copyright thing. I understand that. And I understand that I am using other people's content when I do this. I get it. So I get that. At the same time, I'm like, well, it is. We are talking about it after, and it is actually getting people to go and check out, more bands. Like, as I'm sure it's done for you. Like, I know you've mentioned it in the comments before. But it's cool to meet the other people that have the same amount of pleasure listening to a band as you, because it's usually not part of your real life. You don't usually find someone in real life who has the exact same.
Exactly it, and I don't have anybody to talk to that's excited about it as I am.
Yeah, it's like I don't have anybody in my life personally that is as big of a fan as Devin Townsend as I am. Like, I have big fans that I can talk about Devin Townsend with some people, but like to the level where I'm at with it, I don't really have anyone right here in my life. So I get it completely, for that. Like, what's it?
Well, I would have never discovered him.
Yeah, he. You have to have YouTube for that. Like, at that point, yeah. Without YouTube, me and my friends probably would have never found him. So it's the same. It's the same thing, Like, YouTube's a special place for that. And
it is, and I don't want them to mess it up, because
Yeah. So right now we're fine, Like, there's a lot of people that are like, oh well, they blocked this and blocked that. Well, there's certain things. There's ways to get around it, of course. As I found ways, just you've all seen it, I'm sure. But yeah, it's we get by anyway, and luckily.
But it'll be sad.
Yeah, well, hopefully nothing happens. Yeah, hopefully nothing happens to mess that up. I really hope that nothing happens, because I would be sad too, for sure. No, definitely.
Really, I don't know what I would do. I really don't. And and I've made actual friends that we talk outside of
Yeah,
You know,
all the time, right? Like you.
and they're from Finland.
Yeah, they're across
And
the planet. Like.
yeah, and and so it's I gotta plug, give them a plug here. It's Yuhi and Pia,
Mm-hmm.
and I we talk about them, we share things, but we share other things too.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually, through YouTube, we all met and we have our own chat area.
Yep.
And those two met up and went to a Nightwish concert together.
That's cool.
And they had never met before. So, they got to go see one together.
That's pretty. That's crazy. That's crazy to be able to do that. Like because there's not a lot of people. I mean that. It's cool because it's not just YouTube is good for that. Not even just for music. I know some people even just like video games that have gone to meet up because they become such good friends. Like and YouTube was the thing that got them together because they all stream together. Like and. This is turning into like a YouTube appreciation at the same time here, as much as learning about you. But it's true how YouTube does that. YouTube, this wouldn't be happening right now if it wasn't for YouTube. So it's
exactly.
It's just like that, like
and
you got to give it props for that, as much as there's some hate towards certain things about it.
Well, yeah, there's always going to be with certain things, with everything. There's going to be good, bad things and stuff.
Not everyone's happy, like it's a thing.
Yeah.
But it's cool though that you found like a few other people you can talk to whenever you want about it. Like there's gonna be new music coming eventually, and you guys are gonna be freaking out together, because you haven't had the chance yet to talk together with a new album, right? Like, so it's gonna be a thing.
I'm gonna go crazy waiting for that.
It'll be a thing. That's like me this year. Like, we just did Rammstein as a daily band before this, and now there's a new album coming. It's like, I already get to listen to new music now that I've really appreciated their music. So it's probably not the same level as like when Devin Townsend's new album comes out in a couple of months. Like that's I'm not freaking out right now because I think because I've been to so many concerts and I listen to so many bands, I'm kind of like numb to it until it's almost time. As soon as it gets really close, I start like freaking out. That's usually how it goes. Like it's like Heavy Montreal when I've gone like 4 times now, but I never get excited until like a few days before I'm going, because I'm like, it's still like a week away. Like it's not time yet. So and then I start to get excited like right before, and then. It's weird. It's weird how that works for me. But and people are like, you're not excited yet? I'm like, what? You're not freaking out yet? No, I'm good.
Well, I'm just waiting for the album.
Yeah, the album.
And then
they're gonna tour.
They're
gonna tour for it right after.
I know, and usually they start over in America pretty quickly. Over here.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, my daughter, that was my birthday present last year. And she took me down.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
And to see the concert, and I never ever in my life thought I would ever see them ever, And but that's one thing, and I've read in interviews, and people go, you don't know, well, whatever. I read it. Doesn't mean I know. It doesn't mean it's the truth or stuff. But Thomas does like to do smaller venues, and he likes to have that fan, connection.
Yeah.
And that's why he continues to do small venues. They don't have to do small venues.
Nope, they don't.
But I would be able to see them if they didn't do small venues.
Yeah, no, I actually prefer smaller venues because usually the sound quality is better.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
I mean, you don't get the big, fireworks.
Who cares? But what? As much as that's cool,
but it doesn't matter.
It's never made. It's never broken a show. The only band that I've ever seen where it made a difference is when I saw Kiss, because that's what they're known for.
Yeah.
Because that's what I expected to see when I went. That's there's certain bands like Rammstein. Okay, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I still love their music though, so I'd be okay if it wasn't happening.
Right.
But like you're expecting to see stuff. But like Nightwish, I'm not expecting to see that. True, as much as they do it all the time, some reason it still doesn't make me expect it.
I mean, they had the screens back there, and they had it was beautiful. Really, I mean,
an amazing light show. An amazing light show makes all the difference for me.
Yeah.
Personally.
Well, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that I think the light show, as long as it's done properly with a good light guy, it can make, you know, like, there's some light guys that can make a whole show, and it follows every beat of the music, and I'm like blown away by it. Like it's, and some of them's like bands like, you might not know Meshuggah. I don't know if you ever listen to any of their songs, but
I've listened to a couple.
yeah, I know you can't really get into it then, because I know what the vocals are, but their light guy follows every beat of their music live, no matter where they play. I've seen them live, and they're intense live. Like, they're off time all the time, like doing weird like patterns, and he follows all of it, and I just blows my mind. So to me, a light show is more important than all those pyrotechnics and stuff anyway.
That's true, except it can be too much. Like, to me, Epic is way too much.
No, well, they seem to have like a really dark. They have a dark stage. Like, besides that, it seems like a lot of their videos, like, everything's dark with a lot of like lights that flash really bright, and then it's dark, and it's bright, and it's dark. It seems to do that a lot.
I know. And it's like, you know, and that one that that they did with Floor is the, you know, featured.
Yeah.
Her. The Santa Terra one. I mean, Simone had to cover her eyes at one point.
It's weird though, but when you think about it, doesn't that really like fit Epica though, to a certain degree, because they have really dark elements to their music with the growl, because you know, hit the male vocals.
You better not
and
have epilepsy.
Yeah, I know. Better not have epilepsy. But then Simone has like that beautiful like operatic tone on top of that, so it kind of fits the band when you think about it. I've never thought about it till right now, but like now we're talking about lighting.
I didn't either. To tell you the truth,
it does fit the band. Like, it just kind of describes the band with the lights when you think about it, which might make you appreciate that a little bit more, but still not like it because it's dark, because it's flashing lights all the time.
Well, it's just that those lights, just, you know, and even Delane had some in a couple of their videos. You know, and you know, and I've learned about them. I know those are symphonic. I'm trying to think of Amorphous. I like. God, I had some names and now I can't think of them.
There's plenty. There's too many. That's why. There's too many. It's like me. Like, if I'm put on the spot and like trying to remember a band, I can't remember it. It's too many. Like when I say that I know way too much music, I still haven't met a person that listens to the same variety of music as I do in real life. I'm sure over the internet I could find someone, and that's not tooting my own horn. Like, I just don't. I've never met anyone that listens to the variety I do in person. I just have not been able to, and it's so easy to forget everything when you get to that point though, is because everything from classical to jazz to blues to then jump into metal to country to pop to you know, like, it's so hard to keep track. It's the only problem with that.
Yeah, you know, and like, you know, when I was lived down near Philadelphia, my first marriage, I, you know, like, saw the Philadelphia Orchestra, and it was amazing, you know.
That would be incredible.
It was unbelievable.
Not to take away from an interview for a minute and talk to the people. If you've never been to an orchestra playing, go. If you have the chance. It's even if you don't listen to classical music, I swear to you, you'll have a great time. I've only seen like the university here has a music course and they put on shows. It's the kids, it's the students, so obviously they haven't been playing 20 years, but they're still amazing by the time, because it's usually at the end of their course, right? So it's crazy how much power you feel in your chest from like an orchestra playing. Like, I describe it in my chest every time.
Oh,
it's you right in the chest. Like, it's just like, whoa.
It's just, yeah, you know. And we went a few times, you know, because my ex-husband was into it, and you know, he would play the music a couple times before we went, so I knew what to expect, you know. And oh my God, it was in the can't remember the name of the place. But it
somewhere.
was... Huh?
It's somewhere.
It was somewhere.
You can't remember it. We're okay with it.
The thing was, it was like perfectly... What's the word I'm looking for? The sound was perfect. There was no... There's a word for
I get
that,
it. I know what you're trying to say. It's sonically, like, basically perfect. It has really great sound. That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah,
but trying to find the exact word, but you know.
I can't find the word now. But anyway... So yeah, I mean, even classical music, I went and saw. I guess I've seen a lot.
When you really think about it, I understand.
Think back, you know.
I started keeping a
Things
list
I
to remember
experienced.
that I had to start keeping a list. Because if I'm like, I know later in my life I'm gonna forget half the bands I've seen if I don't start keeping a list. So
Yeah, really, really. Well,
luck.
you know, speaking of, we just this just popped into my head. I saw Santana before, you know, well after, and we rented a U-Haul truck and drove it up there to see them.
That's cool.
We were
That's
in the
cool.
back of the U-Haul truck.
In the back of a U-Haul truck, just a whole bunch of you. Jeez.
I
Like
don't
like a
think you
truck,
would
like you mean
that.
like a truck, like that you'd put furniture and stuff in, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Just hanging
Yeah,
out in the
that's
back.
how we got there.
Jeez.
Nobody had a car to fit all of us, so we rented a
You
U-Haul
guys
truck.
smuggling liquor in there and drinking all the way up there too? Is that what you doing
Oh,
that?
no, no,
No,
not us.
no, not you guys.
No.
It's partying in the back of the truck.
Yeah, and you got to remember, you know, 60s, 70s was when liquor.
Yeah. Nah, yeah. I know. I've heard.
You've heard.
I've heard.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't know
And,
personally. I know personally some of the drugs that we could mention that I've
Yeah.
tried. Mostly
Oh, yeah.
just hallucinogens, but that's about it.
That's about, yeah.
I didn't go
yeah.
into the other stuff, but basically all the ones you're
Oh,
thinking
no,
about
no.
right now, I've tried. Like I've mentioned it, I've said it openly. I'm okay with saying it openly because I believe that
Come
they're
on.
still okay, and all that, but not to the heavy use that I imagine it was being used back then. Yeah.
Oh, well, college was interesting. But anyway, well, actually, some guy, we used to go to this bar, and like, to take a break and get some pizza or something. And this one guy went and he told the guy that owns the place, because I'll go back and make a pizza. So he did, and we ate it. And I'm thinking, I only had one beer. Why am I feeling this way? That son of a gun put it all over our pizza.
Oh, I put it
And
on
we
the
ate
pizza.
it.
On the pizza. Oh, jeez.
And, I'm like, what's going on? I did.
Oh, my God.
Can you imagine the feeling? You're like, how do I have one beer? I don't feel like this. One beer.
Then you're like, oh.
And then I looked up and he was looking at us. I went, you son of a...
No.
Hey,
Gotcha.
that's not nice stuff. That's not nice to do to anybody.
No, it's
Don't
not
ever
nice.
do that.
No. I believe you.
Because that, and then, I was okay once I knew, but, if you didn't know,
You're like, uh-oh. Panic attack.
what's going on, that's scary. But,
No.
yeah.
I get it. I know some friends that have had some situations that, not to go back to drugs too much here, but like they took some shrooms, and he took a lot because he was used to taking some, and it was
Oh.
laced with speed.
Oh,
So he passed out standing up and almost fell down like a whole flight of stairs. Luckily, he wasn't that close to him because he passed out. It was just like didn't know what was going on, and
yeah.
busted up his nose and stuff. So like it's a thing. Like when you're saying like you shouldn't do that, that's why.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why you should be careful if you're going to be doing stuff like that.
Well, yeah, that, and then shouldn't be doing that to other people that
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, because at first I was really, like, scared, thinking, what the hell,
Yeah, exactly, right? Like,
But then I looked on his face, I went, okay, you.
motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's
And I
basically,
didn't
yeah.
say that word, but,
That's all right. So I'll say it for you.
okay.
I'll say it for you.
So, anyway, so that's how I... And then, I was saying that at Tarja I started with, and then I saw where they fired her, and I thought, oh my God, they fired her.
You're like, oh. And when you first got into them, this had already all happened, right? Like we were already at
Right.
floor. We were already at floor at this point when you
Yeah.
found them, right? So so you had no idea there's two more singers already coming in. Like
I
you're
had
like,
none.
oh, yeah. You're like,
I had none, and I thought, oh no.
what's going on?
What am I going to do? So then, now, I don't know how it happened, but I went from Tarja to floor and missed the net completely.
Well,
I don't know how I did that.
It's how I mean, with YouTube, like sometimes like you just skip over. You don't even realize that you skipped over. It happens to me
then
all
I
the
thought,
time. Because with the reaction videos, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, oh yeah, that's the new singer. You should check out the original, like 4 back. I was like, oh.
And so I'm thinking, how did I, go from the first to the third? But I did. Well, I think it's because they don't have a lot of Annette videos on.
Yeah. She was only there for, as much as like she was there for years, it's still kind of like a short period in the band's history to a certain degree. Even as much as Floor is too, it's you already get the feeling that Floor is going to be way longer than what Annette was at this point. Like I think you can just tell by the way things seem to be going with the band. You know, like you can see that it's like a really good working environment right now.
Oh yeah.
I think if she leaves, it's going to be because she wants to leave to do something else. I think that would be the reason.
That's going to be it. But you know, Thomas said this is it. No more change-ups. If there's a change-up, I think he's going to be done.
Yeah.
I don't think he can handle all that. But
yeah, you've seen way more interviews than I have, so for sure. So I believe that it makes sense. It's got to be a hell of a thing, you know. Like it's not easy to cast someone for that position because it's. At this point, now that, you know, when you've had someone like Floor, like, sure, I know there's a lot of diehards that only believe there's one style there should have been and all that, but, like, because of where we're at now, if you really want to look at it objectively and where it's at now and what she's capable of doing and the way the music's going to go from that, it's going to be really hard to replace if she decides to leave.
It is, and I'm not so sure she's going to. Unless the band ends.
Not soon. If she leaves, it won't be soon, I don't think. If it's a thing... There's a lot. Like I noticed, there's a lot of artists like that because it's so many options nowadays. They end up leaving because they want to try something new because there's so many things to try nowadays. You know what I mean? So I think that would be the reason, but I don't think it'll be soon.
Yeah, but the way they have the setup as far as when they do things, it almost allows you to have something on the side.
Yeah, like she did. She did the what was the name of the band? Northward or I'm sorry if I messed up the name. If I'm messing it up, as there's so many bands.
Yeah, I can't.
There's one way to.
One way to find out.
Northward. Yeah. Okay, I got it right.
Yeah.
Sweet. I thought I messed it up, but I actually got it right. Perfect.
You know, and Marco does stuff on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and so does Ampu. He's in a band.
Pretty much all of them except, like, Troy. And does Troy do something?
Yeah, well, him and Thomas and Johanna, Thomas's wife, they put out that... they did a...
Oh, someone just told me that. Someone just told me. Yeah, it was probably you but...
Yeah. Oh, God, what's the name of it? I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, there's some really good songs on that. Now, it's not anything, you know, Nightwish or anything like that. But
that's fine.
I mean, it's different, but it's really good. And so those three do it together. She's a singer in Finland. She's huge in Finland. His wife, Johanna Berkala or something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
No.
I haven't looked her up yet, but I'm sure we'll get to that video. I don't remember if I added it to my list, but like the list is
Ari, that's the name of the who they are. They call themselves Ari, A-U-R-I.
Okay.
Okay? But anyway, so yeah, they're all doing something. But anyway, so I found Floor. And I found the Wacken concert, and I was like, oh, Wacken or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I went, oh my God.
I know, right?
It was unbelievable. Yeah. And I was like, that's it.
It's weird. With a lot of bands, I have like one favorite concert, but with them I have two. For two different reasons.
And I agree with you on that.
On the same two?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And it might be for the same reasons. With Wacken, I find like the sound is way better. It's just like really good like sound performance. For me personally, there's a good show too, but I find the sound performance is good. And then for Tempore, I think it's just like the way it was filmed and how the whole show is put together. Just like shows like both their sides, like how their sound quality is good and how they put on a really good show at the same time. And it's weird because like every other band, I can't think of another band where I have two favorite concerts at the same time right at this moment.
Yeah. And I like it even better than Wembley. Wembley didn't thrill me.
Everybody. There's a lot of people that like. I'm kind of surprised that there's people that think that Wembley was better than Wacken and stuff like that. And they said like the performance is better, but I found that with Wembley was before Wacken, right? Like that was like early when she first got there, right?
Wembley, no. Wembley was
later.
No. Wembley is right, is the same as the camp here.
Okay, it's the same time.
That
Okay.
yeah, because what's his name? The guy that Thomas read and got him to talk and thing. He comes on stage and talks at the Wembley.
Okay. Because I find it weird because it feels like maybe I don't know where Wembley was as part of the tour, but whenever, for instance, Ghost Love scores people that are fighting about both, I find Vakken, she did a better job at like hitting. For instance, maybe I'm mixing up. Is it not Wembley? Yeah, I'm talking about Buenos Aires. Sorry, I'm messing them both up. See the too many videos. This is the problem with that. I get way too many videos. Way too many videos. Yeah, with Buenos Aires, that one was early, right?
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, that was early. That was earlier than Vakken.
Than everything else. Yeah, that was like right away. And you can.
That was like a couple months in.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that prefer that version compared to Vakken, and I didn't understand why I got requested that one first after seeing both, because. Now, the Buenos Aires one's the one that's on my channel, but I would have loved to have seen Vakken first, because comparing both, I don't think there's I think there's a big difference on... Like, I don't understand why that one's picked. Maybe it's because of the whole crowd, like, small venue. Maybe some people like that more. But I do find, like, she didn't hit all the notes perfect in the Buenos Aires one, because she is obviously still learning the songs. And you can tell. I don't know, maybe not everyone notices it, but I notice it. I really notice small details like that.
And she made changes along the way.
Yep.
To the song.
Yep. To fit her better, and make it sound better for her.
Yeah, and by Vakken, she had the final one, I think.
That's what it felt like. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it changed a lot since then, right? Like, if anything, maybe tiny details.
Yeah. I think she had to change that end note, because you can't do that all the time. I'm sorry. She's not that she doesn't do it, but she leads up to it in a different way now.
It's surprising, like you can, like, she has good, like, her vocal work is good enough to do that every night, but it does, you still are going to get the wear from the tour, right? Like, you do it every night.
Right.
You can take care of your voice, but like, everyone's different too, you know. Some people, like, following all the vocal coaches, like they've been doing, all the vocal coaches seem to be jumping into that metal thing now because it's so popular.
Yeah.
Some of them is because it's popular, some of them legit like it. You can tell. You can always tell which ones are just following because they've seen other people are doing it, and which ones really are enjoying it. And when they talk about it, they're like there's no, she's not really having to push super hard to hit those notes, which means she's doing it right, obviously.
Right.
I'm learning stuff from them too, like words and stuff to use finally that I can describe some of the things, which is really cool. So, again, another shout out to all the vocal reactors for improving my linguistic words that I get to use now to describe things that I could never describe specifically before. But she doesn't seem to put too much wear on her voice. But the thing is, they put on long shows.
Yes.
That's the point. That's the point where you make sense. Yeah, and they're on tour for a long time. They go everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's because they can. It's because where they go, they pretty much sell out or almost sell out the venue.
Yeah, and so and what makes me do the reaction channels is it's so cool. I mean, you already knew about Nightwish, so you know.
A long time ago, way before we're going back like 10 plus years to when I first.
Yeah, I mean, you knew him before I did.
Yeah.
But what I like is seeing people, discover them, and seeing their reactions, and reading the comments, because I'm finding that more people have just found them, and that to me just reminds me how I felt when I discovered them, and when I see the looks on their faces. And
see, that's what I've always described the reaction channels. Whenever somebody asks me why someone would want to watch someone nodding their head to banging their head to a song all the way through and just a little bit of talk, it's because people like to see other people liking the same music as them. It's just a thing that a lot of people have, and that's the best way to describe it every time. It's like, oh, other people like this band, and I want to see how they reacted to it. Because you can sometimes relive what you had. Sometimes you're disappointed. Sometimes sometimes I know I don't show like a super lot of emotion, I'm usually pretty calm. Like, I know, like, a lot of people have said I'm calm. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm not.
I see it in your eyes. Sorry.
But you can usually, yeah. Some people are like, oh, your facial expression usually gives it off, or the way you described it after is what really gave it. Especially recently with the jumping into the Asian singer thing going on. There's one of them specifically that I just did that I don't know if you've been avoiding. Like those ones, like I know they're like. There's different market for people that I'm going to, but have you watched any of those, like the Dimash or the Chinya stuff?
Yes.
So one of the ones I just did, that's it was Fake Monk by this Chinya guy. I did like a pre-stage interview first. Did you happen to watch that one?
No, I didn't.
Okay, that one, I went really long at the end on that one.
I'll
because
have to go look at that one.
That one, I understood how he felt when he did the song. That was a really emotional song, so just be prepared. If you get emotional with artists really easily, you're going to get emotional watching the interview before. And it really brought me to like really talk about it, and I think I've had at least 10 comments that said that was the best reaction I've ever seen to that song and to him in general, because I really went into I understood, because it's going into whenever it gets into like a mental thing. I really have experience because I've read about it so much and had so much of it in my life, and I'm glad that stuff can come out sometimes to make people get it a lot. And I think that's what helps me a lot is where people really understand, like, okay, he gets it. Because I don't freak out. Like, I'm not one of those guys. You've seen the ones that freak out. Like, they constantly, like, they'll stop the video and be like, oh my god. And I like that too, but that's not me. That's all.
Well,
you know what
I mean? and then I really question what they really like. But anyway.
Yeah, sometimes because some of my favorite reactors, even though I know they're always freaking out and maybe they are joking around with themselves just to like get views. Yeah. Like sometimes I wonder because there's never one that they hate. Meanwhile, but I mean they're gonna get all the subscribers, which is fine. I'm not here to get the most subscribers, but it shows that like the honest reactions sometimes don't.
Right.
They're more chill. You just don't.
There's gonna be parts you don't like.
Yeah, but those people are needed to get other people into the music too. Like so I prefer that. Like other people are gonna love that band. Like I'm sure when Alex Hefner did Nightwish, there's new fans that came in right there. He's got so many followers, but I know he legit likes that band. You can see it.
Oh yeah.
You can tell. I think he's one of the ones that's legit that freaks out. But there's a few of them that I don't follow anymore that I know they're just faking it. You could just tell. You can tell.
Yeah.
Not everyone can tell, but I'm sure you sound like someone else that can tell when someone's faking it. And that's you can tell when someone's trying to make money and not
right. And I don't. It's like really, and then the ones that come out and say it, well, I got to check and see because I don't know if I can make any money off this one. Well, you know what, you lost me.
I've heard that a couple of times, and I'm like, I don't do those because I don't make as much money. But just because some of them though, it's because they're to the point of they're living off their channel.
Right.
And at that point, it can take over a little bit.
Well,
if I ever live off this channel, I hope it's doing what I'm already doing now. But I don't think it'll ever happen because it's not original content. So
because you don't. Yeah.
As long as you're doing reactions, it's really hard now. Like that ship has kind of sailed. Like the biggest point of it, where like if I could have got into it when I wanted to. I wanted to start this like 2 years earlier than what I did, but my computer couldn't do it. That I had. It's only once I got the beast that's next to me now that I could do it. Like that I can put out these HD videos and watch videos and record. If I would have tried to do that before, it just didn't work. It was just choppy, sound chopped up. So I could have.
Now there's so many that.
Yeah, there's so many.
Doesn't that take away from it?
Yeah, a little bit. Just people only want to follow their favorites, right? Like, you only have time to follow your favorites to a certain degree. You only watch so many videos a day. Everyone works. You have your own life to go through.
Right.
But yeah, so it ends up being that not everyone can be home every day, you know what I mean? Like, I end up watching a lot of my reactors now in the shower when I get home from work at night. Like, I just put my phone on the windowsill because I have one of those shitty windows in my shower at my new apartment that I hate so much. But it's a good place to put my phone so it doesn't get wet and I can watch my reaction videos.
Yeah, yeah.
But we talked about Nightwish now. Like, basically, I thought we were coming here to talk about just, you know, Nightwish. We're talking about, like, everything at this point, which is what I thought would happen when we started talking anyway. But,
Yes, dear.
like, is there anybody else that you've been, like you've been watching, like, a lot of for, like, reactors, like, lately, that you've been, some of your favorites that we can give shout-outs to? While we're here?
I like, Prague.
Like,
huh?
like reactors specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His name's Prague.
Prague, okay, Prague.
Something. Oh, God. I can't think now.
Put you on the spot.
Well, he's a young guy. He's from Australia.
Okay, I'm curious.
He's a really, I mean, yeah. He pissed off some Nightwish fans. He pissed them off. But I saw it. You know, I knew where he was coming from. But Prague, oh God, that's the beginning. I know it is.
It might come back to you. I'm trying to find something like with. I put in Prague Reactor and I can't find it, but I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure we can find him at some point.
Yeah, Prague. He's one. I used to do A&P, but I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't watched them as much lately either.
Yeah,
I not because I don't. It's more because I don't have time to watch everyone. So I like to mix it up and switch around so I can see like new people too. It's not because I don't like their content. It's their videos are a little longer. It's the same thing with like Vin and Sori. Like their videos are a little longer, so I don't have a habit of watching the whole video. But it's just because I don't have time.
I can't. And to tell you the truth, I do have time, but I don't like the really long ones. You know, I think that has come with. I went into a half-hour seizure, and a few years ago, and that's affected my span of things, and my memory is one too. And this oxygen thing has a lot to do with that. But I'm trying to think of who else do I? Oh my God.
I'm trying to find this Prague guy still while you're thinking about it. And I'm sure you've liked one of his videos at some point, and I know that it's going to be on your liked video list somewhere. I have time. I can talk and do this at the same time, so I'm definitely like going through like, okay, where is it?
Okay.
But
oh wait, maybe
Prague Piglet. Prague Piglet.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, okay, I know who he is. Yeah, I've checked out some of his videos.
Yeah, no, he's pretty good. Let's see who else. I just found Alex. Not too long ago.
Yeah. When he finally did Nightwish, you mean?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. Yeah.
But I like him. I mean, I watch him otherwise.
He has a great personality for doing this, for doing reactions. He's done a reaction with Vin and Sori as well. They did one together, which is something I've always wanted to do, is do one with another reactor. But you know, it's trying to contact people and hoping they want to do it and all that. It's a thing. Yeah.
Let's see, who's the other one? Oh my God! Oh, I like Shadow John.
Yeah,
He's so cute.
Shadow John's is fun to watch.
Yeah.
I don't always catch all his videos. Like a lot of the videos is like there's a lot of stuff that I've already seen before, and so like when I say I don't have a lot of time, I apologize, Shadow John, for I can't always watch all your videos. I apologize. No. He knows I'm busy too, but
yeah. Oh, he does. But he's such a nice guy.
No, I like him because when he really gets into like talking about the song, he reminds me a little bit of like my style of like really like jumping into it to a certain degree.
Right.
We kind of have like a similar way of looking at it.
Right. He's let's see. Oh my God, I've got such a list of them.
There's so many, I know, right?
And I'm trying to remember the ones. This is horrible. Oh.
I get it though. I get it. Like
I just can't think of the names.
It's so hard to remember everything. Like like what else we got? Like there's Billy You So Crazy that just started popping up. he's started popping up as he's checking out Nightwish and freaking out over it. That's one of them.
Yeah, but the thing is, I found that that's an act.
Well, it is an act because he's doing a specific act from the start. Yeah, I think he still likes it, but that is his act. Does that's like one of those acts that works, and he's using that formula because it works. Right. And I don't think it's fake. Yeah, I don't think that's a fake reaction. I think it's just sometimes it feels like he's going over the top. But still enjoy like what he has to say after. He seems to really like it. Yeah.
I found that out because at first I thought, oh my God, this guy's nuts. But he actually ends up being pretty funny and insightful, really. Yeah.
One way of knowing that someone especially with Nightwish is if they continue to react to them, because Nightwish isn't going to be your highest hitting one. No. That a lot of these guys could do, because a lot of these guys that like that style, like they're not just listening to metal. It ends up being that they listen to a lot. They still have rap and stuff too, right? That usually does a bit better. I do think it does a little bit better. Maybe that's not the market right now. Maybe it is metal because a lot of them are doing it. Maybe that's becoming a thing. But it usually you can tell when they keep reacting to them that it's usually legit. Looks like Roland TV here has been checking all on Nightwish too. I don't really know him much. For some reason he doesn't pop up on my thing, so maybe I'll have to check him out. But I see he's checked them out literally almost as much as I have. The more I scroll down your likes, he's popping up over and over and over and over.
I went years ago into him. Well, then he left for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Roland did. Yeah. He was off for a while, and then he came back, and I was checking him out, and I was like, my God, he's doing Nightwish all the time. He never did that before. Him and there's what I was thinking of. What's his name? Jamie?
I don't think I know him. Right off the bat, I don't think I know him. I'm just saying
I can't think of his last name. Yeah. But anyway, he's from Australia too.
Okay.
But anyway, those are a few that I
just a few
regularly.
The regular ones. And I'm sure it changes up over time too. Some of them leave and don't keep going. Some of my favorites have left and don't do it anymore, or for whatever reasons. I've
had a couple that got shut off.
Okay, yeah. So that happens too. Sometimes they get too many copyright strikes, they get shut off, and they just don't try again because they think it's too much. I've gotten 3 copyright strikes total in a year and a half. Almost a year and a half of doing this, but they've never been together. You get three all at once, and it takes 3 months for the copyright strike to go off. I've never gotten more than 1 at a time, but I've had 3 total. And one of them's Powerwolf, and it wasn't them directly. It was the record. It's always the record company that gets you. I've had one for when I was doing that second anime way back when I started, and I can't remember what the other one. I can't remember what the other one was now. It was another band anyway that got me for it way back at the start, and I can't remember now. But it actually happens way less than people say on their channels. I don't understand why some people say they're getting videos. Sometimes I get videos blocked that other people do reactions to, and I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't either.
Ghost Rats, when it came out, it was blocked for me for a while, and then it just became unblocked weeks later. I don't really understand how that works sometimes, so it's just a thing.
I don't understand that either, and Nightwish very rarely ever.
Yeah,
it's blocked,
and when it does, it's usually in certain countries more than anything, and I don't understand why.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's the person that puts it up also has a choice of blocking it in certain countries, or the record label doesn't want it in certain countries for some reason.
Right, I guess.
It's weird. I don't get it.
And the Japanese, they have their own, government-controlled thing.
Yeah. I do believe the Japanese also can't block ads. I think ad blockers block, they can't use ad blocker because I've noticed a lot of things that I can monetize here and there to make a little bit of money. I noticed those Japanese ones is a lot of time, the live stuff. I seem to make all my revenue from anything that comes out of Japan.
Wow.
Yeah, surprisingly, but notice how I don't focus on it because I know it makes money because I still want to do what I want to do. But I noticed that a lot of my revenue had come from Japan when I was reacting to like Senri and you know, like all these visual K-bands or Kai-bands that were over there. Because I think in my head that says, oh, they don't use ad blocker over there, or something like that, or they all use YouTube Premium or something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But and I've noticed, I think some YouTubers had realized that, because I noticed a lot switched to only checking out stuff from Japan.
No, yeah, like there's a big, you know.
There's a lot of good stuff to check out there, mind you. But
well, there is, but yeah.
Fun fact for everyone here in the conversation, dropping a few fun facts about YouTube while we're chatting.
Hey, we're chatting.
Yeah. Yep.
So anyway, so that's pretty much, you know, where I got you today, honey.
Yeah, that's it took us an hour to chat about it. We got there with a bunch of random tidbits throughout as well. It's hopefully
it was great.
Hopefully I think they're used to me chatting, just saying things randomly anyway at this point. I think it's to be expected. You put two people together that can just talk about anything, and then it just keeps going, and all that. Yeah. It's just a thing.
Well, you know, you and I were in fields that, you know, we had to do that, and so it makes it easier for us.
Yeah, because if you go back to my first videos, you can see the difference between now and then. Now that I've gotten used to it, the first few videos, like, it definitely didn't look like I knew what I was doing at first. To a certain degree. I was okay talking to people, but it just felt weird talking to a camera by myself in a room. But
I bet it did. I can't,
You get used to it. You get used to it after a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
you just pretend you know somebody you're talking to, right?
Yeah. And not even that. It just, you eventually just like, you're just like, oh, I'm doing the thing I do. That's how it felt, really.
Yeah.
That's how it ended up getting to.
I guess it's like any job, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Everything works on muscle memory for me, so like that's why I can't stop saying Patreon over and over again in a bunch of videos recently. It's just muscle memory, but I think I'm finally over it now. But it took a few times, you know.
I caught that.
Yeah, and everyone knows I don't edit my videos because I don't believe in it, so that stays in. You guys get to, you know, I'm being honest because I'm not editing shit, nothing.
Right.
It's all straight from the OBS.
Well, that's just it,
platform.
And that's what makes it interesting, because it's life. It's real life. It's not, you know.
I don't believe in that. That way, I always like the reactors that are completely honest, and I feel like that's the way I can be the most honest, is by just sending you the direct file that went on my computer from when I stopped recording, gets uploaded within a minute after it starts uploading. Usually. That's how it works. That way there's no editing, unless I absolutely have to make the file smaller, in which case I have to compress it, but that's not editing, that's just resaving it under a smaller file, which this one might have to, because it's an hour long. I don't know if it'll be too big.
You may have to.
Hopefully we don't scare people away from checking out the video. I know a bunch of you are going to watch, or have watched it until this point. I'm going to say that right now. I know there's still people watching it at this point in the video when they get to it, because they're going to be interested in hearing what you had to say as much as I did. I'm really glad that you came to me for it, because I really wanted to do it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember what video was the comment on. Was that like on AMP Reacts or something? I don't remember.
That was, yes. You said, "Now, Ann, I heard, and you need to do that." And what video was that?
It was probably a Nightwish video.
Probably. Yeah.
I just can't remember whose channel, but I was like, no, I would. When I seen it, I was like, man, I'd love to do that. And then you came to me, so I was like, yes. Yes, I do want to do that.
I wanted, you know, I did want to put up a video myself. I'm not comfortable with that. And I wanted to talk to somebody that I felt comfortable with, and that was you.
Well, I'm glad that I feel comfortable for people. I'm pretty chill.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's times I wish I could just talk to you through the screen at you, know?
Yeah. I know, it's easier than typing out a whole paragraph, right?
Yeah. So, but no, I appreciate, you know, you helping me with this. I really do. It was great. I had a good time.
Me too. I don't regret spending an hour talking to anybody that's easy to talk to, which it has been. Like I said, we came in here with just the plan to talk, and it worked out. So that works for me.
It worked for me too.
No,
Thanks, sweetie.
Hopefully that You know, it's something it's something I would like to do some more too. Would chat with other people if they would allow me to. So definitely, if not just everybody there, but like people that I know can talk about
Right.
specific things, it'd definitely be something that I would enjoy doing. Because it's, I feel like there's people that are watching the reaction videos like, yeah, some of you guys have stories too, you know, like, and people know some of the people, you know, like, but I don't know who else off the top of my head that we could talk about. Sure, on my videos, but like who else? He's on every video, you know. There's only really you that I notice on all the videos at this moment. You know, specifically Nightwish to be exact. You know, it's like out. So.
No. Well, thank you, honey.
No, well, thank you very much. Well, hopefully all you guys enjoyed our little interview. Hopefully it wasn't too long for some of you, and you guys checked it all out. And I'll catch you guys next time on another video. And you guys will see Ann in the comments all the time. Have a good one.